Okay, if you're here watching video 2, hopefully you watched video number 1. Video number 1, we made the code that you see here, which controls my frog, this little LED. This video is designed to really show you how to make a car that'll travel from side to side across your screen, or from, in my case, I'm going to do right to left. And I need 2 new variables to do that. Typically when I build a game like this, what I'll try to do is make 2 or 3 cars. If I make 2, I have one down here in row 3 and then row 1. If I do 2, if I do 3, I'll have it go everywhere. What makes it really interesting is if your cars are traveling at different speeds and are a little more unpredictable. But I think I'll simplify the code for now. What I do for 1 car, you could easily do for 2 or 3. So I will set that up now. I'm needing my x and y very much like I did with my frogs. X and y variables for my car, although we really only change our x, but it's nice to set it up with the 2 variables. So I'm going to do car 1 x, and then I'll do a car 1 y. And the reason I'm labeling them car 1, it leaves room for car 2 and car 3 if I want to go there in the future. So I have car 1 x and car 1 y. Very much like I did with my frog, I want to set a starting point for my car. So I'm just going to duplicate what I got here, and I'll switch that to my car 1x, and I'll duplicate that again, and this will actually switch to my car 1y. So I'll have an x and y for my car 1. So what I like to do, and I'll just set this one up here in the middle, I like to set my car up where it starts off of my screen a little bit so that it comes in and kind of, it's a little more unpredictable. You're not really sure 100% when it's going to hit. So the first thing I like to do is set my car's Y location. On this one I'll set it up at 2, so that's not bad there. And then I like to set it up at a random location just off my LEDs. So I'm going to use the math drawer to pick a random number. And if I want it to be off my screen, anywhere between like 5 and 8 would be okay to do that. And then I'm going to do the same thing that I did here. I'm going to plot it. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to plot it in a separate forever. So its own little forever command over here. And that's going to be my car's x and my car's y. And we're not going to see it because it's actually plotting off the screen somewhere, because its x value is larger than 4. So it's somewhere over here, invisibly hiding behind my B button right now. What I want it to do as time goes by, I want it to move to the left. So in this forever, I want a random chunk of time to go by, and then I want it to change. So let's have my basic drawer. I'll do a pause, and that pause is also going to be random. So I'm going back to my math drawer, and we're dealing with milliseconds here. So I'm not really sure what's going to be a good guess. Let's do something like between 200 and, I don't know, 500, which is half a second. So this is going to be pretty quick. Maybe we can make this a little slower if we need to, or speed it up if we need to. This makes it a little bit more random. So it's going to plot the car. It's going to wait for a very short period of time. Then I'm going to have it change the x value of my car. So that's a variable command. So it's going to be changing the car's x by -1, so it moves to the left. And then, you know what? So you can see it moving already. The problem I have here is I did not unplot it. So let's see. Maybe this plot needs to happen at the end, and I need an unplot at the beginning. So I'm going to unplot my car's x and y. It's going to wait a short period of time. It's going to change the x value, and then it's going to replot it. So there's definitely a light going across my screen there. I don't know if you saw that. It happens pretty fast, and it doesn't hang around for a while. So I think my unplot and my plot need more time between them. So maybe putting my my pause at the end. Let's see what that does. See if that changes things around. That's more visible, right? So it kind of stays live on my screen a little bit longer. So it plots and it waits a chunk of time before it unplots. So I kind of like that a little bit better. It looked nicer. Now the other thing is that as soon as this gets off my screen, I want it to restart. So what I need to do is put in one of these if-then statements. So I will drop it like this. So if, give myself a little more room here, if the value of my car's x, it's eventually going to get down to something, so let's do it like this. If my car's x value becomes equal to -1, meaning that it's off my screen to the left, then I'm going to set my car's x value. I should have just duplicated the box I already had, but it doesn't hurt to go back in here and see how we did it. I'm going to set it to a random value between, I don't know, 5 and, I think we did 8 before. Let me double check. Yeah, 5 and 8. So it's going to reset it to sort of the same range it started at. But if I'm looking here, I can see my car is traveling across the screen. Kind of sometimes goes a little quicker, sometimes slows down a little bit. I don't really know when it's going to enter because it might have started at 8. I can mess around with the time if I want it to move faster or slower. It might be interesting if I put a bigger spread here. Let's see, something like 900 to, or 100 on the low end and 900 on the long end will make it go between 1/10 of a second and almost a full second in any spot. It's a little harder to predict where it's going to be. So that keeps going through there. That's not too bad. And my frog should still work like it did before. And the problem I have right now, and we'll cover this in the next video, is what happens when my frog gets hit by my car. So right now it just keeps going, no problem. So we have to put in some sort of mechanism that gives us a score or a value or a big old sad face here on our screen when that happens. So tune in for the next video and you will see us take care of that problem, do some sort of celebration if we do make it all the way across, and talk about where to take this game in the future if you want to add more to it.